Hi everyone, I am back after 2 weeks for episode 4, covering weeks 3 and 4 from my internship, and since we've got 2 whole weeks of fun to catch up on, let's get into it. Alright, so I left you off 2 weeks ago, so we're starting things with the 17th of June. That Monday we went on a little field trip to another theater type space. I think it was a school of dance, actually. Not really sure there, but we were going there to borrow some props. Their prop storage was so much more organized than ours. It was really nice. It's really nice. And then when we got back from the field trip, I finished those tech drawing, drafting things that I told you about in the last video. Yeah. And the sunset on that Monday night was phenomenal. So this is the view outside the front door of my townhouse, kind of in this little, I guess, development slash apartment thing. I'm not really sure, but yeah, it was really pretty. Tuesday I saw baby swans, the little ones. They're very cute. Wednesday, I was tasked with building this rehearsal set piece for one of the cult shows. The actual set piece is like this square thing with curtains hanging off of it that is suspended from the ceiling. And they can't have the actual set piece because there's nothing to hang it from in the rehearsal space. So they need something that serves the same purpose and sits about at the height that the curtains would hang from, but that comes from the ground up rather than the ceiling down. So I did a little bit of sketching in the morning to kind of figure out a good game plan for that. What I came up with was building just 2 sides of the proper height of those curtains off of wardrobe racks, which were a little too short. So the finished product, there are 2 sides that are a little shorter than they wanted, but 2 sides that are the actual height. So they were actually really happy with having that to work with. And it seems to be working well in rehearsals. I've gotten to pop in a couple times and see it in action, so that's pretty cool. I also forgot to take a picture of the actual thing, but I guess I'll do that next week and show it to you, because it's actually kind of a cool structure, so I'd like you to see it. I don't know what I did on that Thursday. It must not have been too terribly interesting. Friday was something a little different. My supervisor sent me out on a props finding adventure with like a map to like different places that I was supposed to hit, and one of the places was this, it was called a junk market. It was basically like a big yard sale, so it was just like people selling random junk. There was some really cool things, like a whole section of these vintage Singer sewing machines, which were super cool. I wish I could have bought one because they were actually really cheap, but that would have been quite expensive to send back to the US, so no go for that. But yeah, it was kind of a cool market, and I actually got a few of the props that we needed there, so it turned out pretty good. While I was out and about that day, I also came across some pretty cool buildings, so I took some pictures. There was this church that was nestled away on this kind of busy street. It was gorgeous. And yeah, that was fun. I also got the chance to ride on the top level of one of those double-decker buses, so that was really fun. I didn't do anything all that exciting on Saturday, so jumping up to Sunday, I had another event with the intern group. We did the London Eye and the Thames River cruise. So here's a few pictures from that experience. Unfortunately, Big Ben is covered in scaffolding right now because they're doing like this big mass restoration. So that's kind of a bummer because my pictures of that side of the London Eye and the river they're not as cool as they should be. But all in all, I think I got some nice images. And the riverboat cruise was way too packed. I got a couple pictures, but not a whole lot, really. Yeah. Bummer. After that whole event was over, I hung out with some other interns from the intern group. We got late lunch at a place right by the Tower of London, because that's when the riverboat cruise let off. And then on our way to the bus, I took a whole bunch of pictures because we walked all the way around the Tower of London to get to the bus, so lots of pictures from that. Monday, I just built the other side of that curtain thing that I told you about already. Tuesday was kind of low-key. My supervisor wasn't in that day, so I was just working on putting cover things on those big crates that you've seen already. Again, just kind of to make it easier for actors to stand on them without their feet going through the cracks between the boards. So that took up pretty much the whole day because I left early that day because I had another event with the intern group where we went to see Wicked. So we did dinner and a show. I love Wicked. It's one of my favorite shows, and I have already seen it. I saw the national tour back in the US, but this was cool to be able to see it on the West End. It was a great show, like, oh, so good. And I had a lot of fun. Dinner was alright. Wednesday, I painted a desk. Yeah. It was kind of a crappy desk. Needed an upgrade. It also needed to look more depressing because it's like this office hell metaphor, I guess. So no bright colors. So it went from this wood color to gray. Thursday, I worked with a couple other people to build this hanging slat wall for the cult shows. We were working in one of the studio spaces because, as I mentioned before, there is no actual scene shop on site, so whatever spaces we can work in is where we work. So yeah, put all of that together. It was a lot of cutting things down to size and a lot of drilling. Super fun. Friday, we put the slat wall up in the space. This isn't actually how it's going to look. We just needed to see if it was going to fit right and how much space was going to be in between the wall and the slat wall, so that lighting can potentially use that space to backlight the slats. Yeah. Yesterday, Saturday, was kind of a cool day. I spent a lot of time out and about and eventually made my way to the Natural History Museum, which was amazing, like gorgeous building, amazing architecture. So I sat in there to get away from the heat because it got up to 91 degrees Fahrenheit, which is not something I'm okay with. But I sat in there and sketched for a while. Nothing I'm going to show you in this video because I left a lot of them unfinished. But it was really cool to just sit and chill and just like absorb this super awesome building. So here as well are some pictures of the building and like the big whale skeleton that they've got hanging in there, the inside and outside, and like the things that I saw on the way there, because there were some pretty nice looking streets, I guess. Yeah, it was a cool area. I actually had a lot of fun yesterday. Yeah. Also, last night, someone was lighting fireworks off on the street behind mine, and it was very loud, but fun to watch. so that's all I want to share with you this time around. I will try to get another video up next weekend, so that I'm not going 2 weeks and then mashing it all together like I did this time. But yeah, wish me luck, because it's really hot and I'm tired of being sweaty from the humidity. But yeah, until next time, have a great day. See you later.